Hello everyone, I wanted to share a passage with you, something that I've been meditating on, and this is having to do with all believers, with everyone who one day has believed in the Lord. And this is also part of my testimony, but I want to share this passage with you and then I will meditate on it. But Isaiah is very bold and says, I was found by those who did not seek me, I was made manifest to those who did not ask for me. But to Israel he says, all day long I have stretched out my hands to a disobedient and contrary people. And this is a passage found in Romans chapter 10, verses 20 and 21. And what do they say? God says, I was found by those who did not seek me, I was made manifest to those who did not ask for me. And here it speaks about the Gentiles, this is a nation. These are all the nations who are not part of Israel. Israel is his nation, and these are all nations that apparently weren't religious. They weren't seeking for the Lord. They were having other religions, but the Lord was made manifest to them. Why? Because his own nation had rejected him. Obviously, he's got purpose for his nation as well, but he first went to the Gentiles. He went to his nation, he sent the message to his nation, but as they rejected him, he sent his messengers, the apostles, the believers at that time, and they proclaimed the message to the Gentiles, those who have believed. And that's why it says here in Romans, that cites passage from Isaiah, saying that he was made manifest to those who didn't ask for him. And these are Gentiles, but it's also part of our testimony as believers, because we, in our lives, at least most of us, never asked for the Lord. Many of us probably weren't so religious, but nevertheless, the Lord came to our lives. How did it happen? Just by His mercy. He made manifest Himself to us. He called us out of the darkness to make us His nation, to make us His His special people and nation. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us on the cross. Not for something that we deserved, not because of something that we did, but because of His mercies. But here it says, I was found by those who did not seek me. And something interesting is that here the verb seek is in the past tense. Those who did not seek me. It doesn't say those who don't seek me as now, because now we need to seek for the Lord. Now we need to look for Him, because it says, seek and you will find, knock and it shall be open to you. This is what the New Testament says. So now that we know the truth, we need to seek for Him. But at that moment when we didn't know the truth, we weren't seeking for Him, but He somehow made manifest Himself to us. How? By sending His message to us by other believers. They came to us, they talked to us about the gospel, or all of a sudden maybe we went to some church, or we went to some place that the gospel was preached and we heard the good news, or maybe we were just handled the Bible and then we opened it and we found something there for our lives. And this is a sign that the Lord gave us while we weren't expecting it. And that sign made us to look for Him. That sign is like woke up that curiosity in us, and we started looking for Him. But that's the first sign, that's the first step that the Lord does. He touches us somehow. He sends people with His message. He sends His words to us. They come to life, and we start seeking, we start looking for Him. He wakes up that curiosity in us. He is attracting us. He's pulling us toward Himself. This is by His love and His mercy. He awakes those desires in us. And if today someone feels that touch of God, if today someone feels that the Lord is calling him or showing something, he mustn't close his heart. He mustn't harden his heart. He needs to open his heart and receive that. He needs to follow that, because it's a sign that He gives us, so that we can look for Him. I remember in my life when I was given a New Testament, I was in a place where the gospel was preached, and I was given a New Testament. I remember first time when I read it, nothing happened. I read it whole from the beginning to the end, but when I took it the second time, I started reading it chapter by chapter. It happened like the gospel, like those words were coming alive and they were touching me. They were talking to me about situations that I was presently living at that time, and that surprised me. I even tried to close the Bible, tried to open it again the next day, and then again it happened. There were other times when the Lord was touching me through those passages. I started perceiving something. I started to see that something is real, and that showed me that I needed to seek for Him. Why? Because He made the first step. That's why it says in the past, when we weren't doing anything, when we didn't have any interest, when we didn't seek for Him, He came, He made manifest Himself to us. How? By showing us something, by awakening the desire to seek for Him. And then after, obviously, once that we know the truth, once that we know what we should do, we need to seek Him, because this is what the Bible says, that who seeks, he will find, who knocks, it shall be open to him. That's why we need to do it. But there is a time when no one is having actually that desire. No one is actually interested in that. But by the Lord's mercies, that happens. And the verse in Isaiah that talks about the same passage, about the same topic, explains it more. It says, I was sought by those who did not ask for me. I was found by those who did not seek me. I said, here I am, to a nation that was not called by my name. Here it says that He was sought by those who did not ask for Him. Here it confirms that at the beginning we weren't asking for Him, but He was sought. He was sought by those people who weren't asking for Him. That means that after that He had reached them out, that He presented Himself to them, they started to seek Him. That's the Lord's desire, to seek Him, to knock on that door, to seek Him so that we may find something from Him. But here it says that He was sought from them. They weren't asking for Him, but then after He presented Himself to them and they started seeking. This verse explains it in such a way because the Bible says that we need to seek Him so that we can find something for Him. We need to knock on the door. That means that in the beginning we're not doing it, but after we know something, after He starts to manifest to us, we need to do that. And the Lord will not manifest Himself in a way so that maybe we can cross our hands and we can just wait for something to happen. No, He's showing us something. Maybe He already told you something. He already sent His message to you, and now you need to take a step and you need to seek for Him. You need to open your heart to Him, to what He has shown you. But the first step, He made that first step so that you can seek for Him, so that you can find Him. It's not like that with His nation Israel. He calls them, the verse that we read in Romans and the following verse in Isaiah, He says that they're rebellious people, they're disobedient nation. Why? Because they thought to be religious, but they were not paying attention to what He was telling them, to those signs, to how He was manifesting Himself to them. They were also disobedient. But we need to follow Him. We need to look. If He has shown something to us, we need to be open to Him. We need to start seeking for Him. He wants to attract our attention. I remember the light He showed me at first. It was like a candle in the middle of my deepest darkness. I saw that light, small light. It was like a candle light, but that light led me to something much greater, something much bigger, that is the light of Christ. And sometimes he shows us those signs, he shows us that kind of light so that we can follow that light, follow that sign. This is the purpose. Thank you for listening, and subscribe for this channel to receive more videos. Thank you.